Hey guys and ladies, welcome to Zip Gaming Online, and today we're gonna have a serious look at Angstrum, the secondary gun that really brings the cannon in hand cannon. Anyway, I do need to mention, as before, that a serious look at means that I have to put this weapon through its paces, leveled it, formatted it multiple times, with multiple game modes, against different enemy types, before I could even think to talk about this gun with you guys. Oh, and ladies, of course. So, before we go anywhere, we should mention that Angstrum's strengths and weaknesses are as follows. It explodes. Firstly, it's high damage, it does AoE, it's accurate for a single shot, however, it's not accurate for a multi-shot. It also cannot hold a charge, slow to reload with a small mag that lends itself to having player commit themselves to a certain role in their loadouts. So let's see what we can do with Angstrum, shall we? Okay, so here we have a loadout for a single shot on the top and a spread shot with a blast corrosive on the bottom. This is important because you actually have to commit yourself to one of these two options. Well, not this, but this is one of the two options you really have, meaning either a single shot or a spread shot that covers an entire area. Okay, so if these loadouts are not your thing, there are these two. And why are these two here? Because we already have blast and corrosive and all of that. But why this? Because on the top is purely blast damage, but you can try to maximize the amount of bullets fired from Angstrum and actually covered a big area. It's basically an AoE thing, so let's take a look at the gameplay. Okay, so as you can see here, we're hunting for a kill at a time, and we're using the single shot, and you can see it's very accurate. However, it does allow the enemy to actually notice you, because the problem is not so much about the accuracy, it's that the weapon has a travel time, right? And when a weapon has a travel time and it's not silent, the enemy will find out where you are before your shot gets to them. Right? However, it's also needs to be mentioned that the shots are small and the area of effect of the explosion is rather slim. Okay? So you do have to take into consideration whenever you're going to use Angstrum that yes, it is explosion, yes, it is highly damaging, however, it's small. I would say it's the Kastana syndrome, right? It's small. But the difference with Kastanas, of course, Angstrum has the ability to actually cover a wide area because of all the multi-shots, and you know, if you're gonna throw in stuff like the Magnum Force, you'll be able to cover a bigger area. So here we'll demonstrate straight away the accuracy of Angstrum. As you can see, I'm able to actually hit kill at a time and not the floor beneath her. So it's pretty gosh darn accurate if it, you know, again, wasn't for the travel time and such. So it's pretty good. So you know what, let's take a look at how it will work in a spread shot kind of a setting. Alright, so here we are guys, we're basically in Organ Derelict Defense, and this is the loadout that we are using at the moment. And if you notice, I actually shoot in a rather weird way. As you can see here, if I shoot in the middle, most of the time the enemy on the other side will not get hit. I wonder why. Well, it has to be because of the small AoE. However, if you shoot over here, you will be able to see that I can hit the enemy behind the cryopod easier. And why is this? This is the important thing. This is the important part. Because this really defines how you as a player would actually use Angstrum, because Angstrum is not a very simple weapon, really. You have to actually understand its pattern. If you charge it like this, you can see it's almost like a star-like or like a shape of a flower, the way the bullet spreads. So you need to be able to actually compensate for that. As you can see, if you shoot only one charge, it's always a triangle if it lets out 3 bullets. And if you let, if you charge, it's gonna be like, again, like a star or like a flower. So it's very important, and that really defines how you aim with this gun. Get used to the pattern, if you will, and get used to your loadout, because different amount of magazine clip yields different type of shape. Mainly it has to do with how a triangular position can be, like, basically when you shoot a single charge you see a triangle, right? And if you didn't get the multi-shot, the explosion on the top will be gone, leaving you 2 bullets on the bottom. However, on a charge, basically imagine each one of those shots became 3 additional shots. That's basically how you think about it. So it's an expanding triangle of explosion, if that makes any sense. And in this kind of situation, Magnum Force helps. It actually counteracts the inaccuracy and the spread to allow you to actually hit a lot of enemies, which is really nice, right? And the other thing is you can actually charge and then jump like that, and yeah, you will actually be able to shoot your ammunition. Okay, so this is what happens in the settings that you would use spread shot in an exterminate mission. Okay, in an exterminate, whatever that thing, exterminate. So let's talk about this and why is this important, because most of the time if you want to maximize your damage you do have to actually shoot with basically spread. And also this was the loadout, I forgot to change it. To be completely fair, you should, especially fighting Grenier and whatnot, you might actually want to use this instead. So I'm so sorry about that. Very sorry. So let's talk serious business again. So basically, this gun, when you're actually gonna do something like this, it's gonna require a lot, and I do mean a lot of, like, just precision aiming from your end to compensate for the spread. However, if you remember when I said that the spread is practically a triangular expansion, in expanding triangles, it's easier to basically aim it, because you know that from each triangle it could potentially explode into another triangle. Therefore, no matter how many magazines, like how many bullets in your magazine, or how many bullets that you have in your charge, you know full well just how much or how big or where those bullets would land. Alright? It does take a while to get used to, and I am dead serious on that, because say you only use barrel diffusion at 100%, therefore you only get 2. It's actually harder for me personally to actually aim because I do not have the triangle. Whereas if I have the max barrel diffusion and lethal torrent, first off it shoots faster because of the lethal torrent charge, and then it's also because it's a triangle shape. Like I think of the triangle as my crosshair, really, and it's easier for me to actually figure out where the enemy might have been, or how to use it properly, how to aim it properly. And I know even if maybe the enemy is spread out, I could potentially have my bottom left end of the triangle hitting an enemy on the left side, and the bottom right triangle to actually hit an enemy on the right side, while still, you know, maintaining that single shot charge. So again, this gun requires a lot, and I do mean a lot of actual understanding of the gun itself, how it behaves, and how sometimes it doesn't wish to actually want to reload until you emptied it. And it actually has to do with the charge, because it's still a charged weapon. So yeah. Alright, so conclusion, is this gun a good gun? It is, it really is. However, this is one of those guns that you cannot just pick up and go. This gun, you actually have to understand how to use it properly. You have to understand the pattern that this gun has. You also have to understand how the charge mechanic works. And not only that, once you start splitting chambers, once you start actually having more than 3 bullets in your magazine, it becomes a lot more prevalent. Alright? So I hope that was I hope that was informative for you guys, and thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye guys, have an awesome day.
Huh.